Contour Airlines starts jet service in Tupelo. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Hundreds of closed bridges are causing travel problems for folks all across the state, but one in Lowndes County could soon be getting some attention.
It's having a direct impact on an area farm, and along with creating a safety hazard for workers, it's pumping the brakes on the farmer's budget. Jory Talley joins us in the studio with more on that. Jory.
Imagine having a 5-minute trip to work turned into nearly an hour detour. That's what's happening in southern Lowndes County. A bridge right in the middle of a farm is out, and it's creating concern about production.
It's in the heart of the catfish farming, 300 and something acres.
This bridge on Prairie School Road is what District 5 Lowndes County Supervisor Leroy Brooks is talking about.
This bridge, seemingly when it was built, was not bolted properly, and consequently it slipped over, and we've had to close it. A representative from the federal government have come in, they've closed the road, and what they've said is that the road is to be closed until it's repaired, or you run the risk of losing federal funding.
The closing is also risking the lives of the people that work on this catfish farm. Farmer Corey Hall says now it's a 50-minute tractor ride and time on Highway 45 to reach the other catfish ponds.
One of the things that would happen, catfish farming, I mean, he could lose thousands of dollars because of the time it has to move equipment. So we're going to look at a number of options to try and get this bridge repaired as soon as possible so he won't have that adverse effect on his farm.
Brooks says the goal is to get the bridge fixed and back open as soon as possible.
It's really left up to us to get it repaired. We've talked to the Tenton Water Management District, who's looked at it. They're going to make a decision about doing it, but they have been so pressed against the wall because of all the rain, so we don't know when. So we're asking them to consider maybe moving it up because of the economic impact.
Brooks says if that doesn't work, they're going to be fishing for more options.
We're going to look at the possibility of hiring a private contractor or seeing whether the county can do it itself. We're just of the thought that this needs to happen because he says that May is an important time for the catfish farming. So we're going to make something happen.
And with busy season a month away, Brooks says repairs are a top priority.
The engineer says if you're looking at trying to get bids on it, it could cost $15,000 to $20,000 because of the mobilization of a crane. If we can do it in-house, it'll cut the price considerably because all you're doing is talking about manpower.
There are currently 514 bridges closed across the state.
It's been over 20 years since Sugarlock had its last major paving project. Now it's time for a touch-up. The Knoxville County town is in line for $500,000 for road repairs. Heavy truck traffic has caused some roads to crumble and left gaping holes. That led to the town's mayor to take action.
I wrote a letter to Washington, D.C., and I outlined in the letter what our needs were. We have several streets that need repair, and we are so grateful that we have been awarded the $500,000, and we look forward to repairing those streets.
Now that money is being allocated through a state bill. Mayor Jenkins says there is still some paperwork to complete before the town can start road repairs.
A Knoxville County man is out of jail on bond while his manslaughter conviction is being appealed. Johnny Slaughter was found guilty of manslaughter this past Friday. Jurors found him guilty of stabbing Dennis Gavin to death 3 years ago. The two men apparently got into an argument at the Talk of the Town club. This was in November of 2015. Slaughter is appealing his conviction to the Mississippi Supreme Court. His bond was set at $100,000.
The Lee County Sheriff's Department is asking for help finding a man accused of arson, burglary, and aggravated assault. Frederick Boyd is wanted for questioning in connection with a string of crimes this past weekend in Lee County. Sheriff Jim Johnson says Boyd is the suspect in a burglary of a home. He's also accused of starting a fire at the scene and also assaulting someone there. Boyd is from the Tupelo area. Anyone with information should call 911 or the Lee County Sheriff's Office.
A New Albany woman is facing drug charges after being pulled over in Clay County. 41-year-old Lisa Bishop is charged with possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine and marijuana possession. The arrest was made by the Clay County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit Sunday. Bishop's bond is set at nearly $6,000. Meanwhile, a traffic stop leads to a significant marijuana bust in Columbus. 31-year-old Demetrius Burgeon is charged with possession of marijuana, more than a kilo, with intent to distribute. Lowndes County Narcotics Task Force agents pulled Burgeon over. That led to a search warrant of his 3rd Avenue North apartment. Agents seized more than 2 pounds of dope, cash, and a vehicle. Burgeon's bond was set at $35,000.
Clear pictures could identify the man who's been using stolen credit cards in Tupelo. Surveillance photos show the man at multiple ATMs there making withdrawals using different credit cards. Several people have filed reports with police claiming their credit card and debit cards were used for ATM withdrawals they didn't authorize. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers.
A crash today in Columbus sends at least one person to the hospital. It happened this morning on Highway 82 East. This was just before 10 o'clock. The front end of a maroon Ford car had the heavy damage. A white truck had rear end damage. Witnesses tell us the driver of the car was taken to the hospital with what appeared to be minor injuries. Columbus police are investigating the accident. Time for a first look at our forecast. We'll turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
We have some clouds rolling on in right now in Tupelo. Live view with our Alpha Insurance camera. Notice those higher clouds right there. We go to West Alabama. Actually, let's go down to Louisville. You can see some of those clouds too. There's a little bit of moisture trying to fall from those clouds, but the air is still pretty dry, so not a lot of that has a good chance of reaching the ground. We've got upper 50s in most spots here across our region. There are the clouds, and you can see a little bit of green there. A lot of that is staying in the clouds. Most of that actually is. So maybe a stray sprinkle or shower this evening, and tonight most spots won't see it. A good chunk of our area stays in the 50s tonight, or at least through the late evening. Lows tonight, once we clear things out, down into the 30s. Your full forecast is coming up.
Nashville is getting a little closer to Tupelo, at least for air travelers.
Contour Airlines is now providing jet service out of the Tupelo Regional Airport. Our Allie Martin has the story.
Thank you for all of your
Contour Airlines CEO Matt Chaffetz welcomed passengers on board the company's first flight out of Tupelo with the new twin-engine ERJ-135 jets.
Flight 3003 with service to Nashville is now ready for boarding.
The ERJ-135 replaces Jetstream twin turboprop planes Contour had used flying between Tupelo and Nashville. There are 30 seats instead of 15 on the Jetstream, more legroom, and a flight attendant. Although the number of flights drops from 30 to 18 weekly, the capacity for passengers increases.
Overall, about a 20% increase in capacity. This, due to the demand that we've seen, was just the next logical step in terms of continuing to increase capacity to match the demand here in Tupelo.
This week, Contour Airlines will celebrate its 3rd anniversary serving Tupelo. During those 3 years, the company has met and exceeded all the promises it initially made to the Tupelo Regional Airport. Also, Contour Airlines has experienced tremendous growth in the past 3 years.
Tupelo was Contour's first route. So Contour has only been in the scheduled service business for 3 years, while the company has been in business for 36 overall. And so to have started with just one route 3 years ago and be serving 17 cities across the country today, I think that's indicative of pretty remarkable growth.
Passengers on the full flight were looking forward to the jet service.
Contour has been very consistent. All my flights, I've been flying for almost 2 years on them, almost every week, and they're very consistent, and they have very few flights that they don't make on time, much more than the industry average, I'd say.
Excited about that for Tupelo and for Northeast Mississippi in general. A 30-minute flight to Nashville, and from Nashville you can get to just about anywhere in the United States you want to go.
Air service is subsidized through the Alternate Essential Air Service program. Under that plan, the Tupelo Airport Authority oversees the distribution of federal dollars to Contour Airlines. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Contour was a charter and maintenance airline company before starting its Tupelo to Nashville route in 2016.
Fort County Electric Power Association is giving back to the communities it serves. This morning, the cooperative awarded over $43,000 in grants to 10 area organizations. Those groups are from Lowndes, Clay, Oktibbeha, Choctaw, and Webster counties. The Homestead Education Center is one of the 10 that got money today. The $3,100 award will benefit the center and its partner organization, the King Community Center.
What's great about that is that we use that from the Homestead Center to help out the King Center, and it pays for all kind of testing like work keys, which enables people to make more money per hour, to get their GED test done, to take the ACT. So it helps people further their lives.
Since 2015, the Fort County Foundation has given out over $900,000 to organizations across its service area.
Monday may be the best day of the week for a few area students.
We take a look at a couple of very special assemblies when we come back.
Watching WCBI News at 6 with Andrea Self and Joey Barnes.
Are you sure we came here in Mississippi?
Grab the tissues, folks. This started out as a program on the importance of the Pledge of Allegiance. It turned into a surprise homecoming for a kindergartner at Tupelo's Joyner Elementary. Sergeant Martell Edwards surprised his daughter Gracie as she was taking part in that program. Sergeant Edwards has been deployed to Kuwait and wanted to surprise his daughter, who did not know that her dad was back home.
I'm just so excited to be home, man. It's been a while. It's been a whole year. So just ready to get back to the family and have some fun. We got some catching up to do.
What do you want to do now that your dad's home?
Play with him every day.
I'm guessing she had a short day at school after that. Sergeant Martell works 2 civilian jobs here at home, but you know what? He plans to take some time off to be with his family.
Good for him. Another joyful reunion today. This one in Louisville. This is the moment when 10th grader Shaylin Washington saw her father after more than a year. Staff Sergeant Douglas Washington has been deployed in Kuwait. He's an electromagnetic spectrum manager in the U.S. Army. Before showing up at Louisville High to surprise Shaylin, Sergeant Washington went to Island Middle School to shock his younger daughter. Both girls are obviously very, very happy to have their dad at home.
Some cloud cover across our region right now. You can see that with our Health Insurance Camera Network. Not too bad for the next 2 days, but unsettled weather's coming back, storms, and all that stuff associated with storms. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
I hope you like the color blue. We will see plenty of that tomorrow on our Tuesday. Look at this great forecast we have. A chilly start, yes, back into the 60-degree range by noon, mid-60s in the afternoon. So a little bit warmer than what we had today. Variable winds from the west and northwest, 5 to 15. Nice on Wednesday, too. Strong storms possible, or at least some storms possible starting Thursday. Some could be strong. Also on Sunday, too, maybe some strong to severe weather. I caution you, though, many uncertainties still exist with the unsettled weather that is coming our way. So this is not a slam dunk severe weather outbreak scenario here later this week. However, we do have moisture that will be coming back on into the region. Right now is bone dry, but the moisture comes on back. Rain chances going on up Thursday, 70% chance of rain. Also some elevated opportunity Sunday into Monday. So we may see some strong storms in the region with warmer temperatures and more moisture. We'll just rehash the model information over the next couple of days, a look at it, and try to sift out the best stuff and try to get the latest updates for you. Right now, we do have some increasing clouds. There's our live view from downtown Columbus, our Alpha Insurance camera network. We have some showers showing up on radar south of Louisville, Atala County, out towards the Delta. A lot of that, though, is in the cloud cover. It's not reaching the ground. We have dew points now in the 20s around here. So this disturbance is moisture starved, at least down here at the surface. And by tomorrow morning, look at that. We should be mainly clear. That feature goes over here into the Carolinas tonight. And look at this. There could actually be some snow in parts of the Carolinas later tonight and tomorrow morning. That will be a coastal system for us tomorrow. High pressure, tons of sunshine, mostly sunny for our Wednesday, but notice that southerly flow. That is that moisture coming on back, warmer temperatures too, but the moisture, the warmer air could give rise to clusters of storms here on Thursday, and some of that unsettled weather will carry over into the upcoming weekend as well, as we talked about. 50s and low 60s here across Mississippi and Alabama tonight. Once the clouds get out of here, we're looking at some rapid cooling. So by sunrise, we may be down into the mid to upper 30s. Some spots may be below 35. We'll see how it all shakes out. Can't rule out a stray shower. Should not be as cold tonight, but still some 30s possible tonight and tomorrow night before, look at these overnight lows pushing 60 by Friday and Saturday morning. So things will be warming on up during the day and at night. Speaking of that, for tomorrow afternoon, 64 Tupelo, Houston, and in Amory or Aberdeen, around 65 or 66 in the Gold Triangle area, mostly sunny skies, winds from the west and northwest, mid-60s here in the West Alabama as well. If you're doing any traveling tomorrow on your Tuesday, it's looking great here in Mississippi and Alabama. A little bit warmer, a shot at some low 70s closer to the coast. And speaking of the 70s, they are coming back here as we get into your Wednesday, 73. So a little bit warmer Tuesday, much warmer Wednesday relative to today. There's that rain chance on Thursday, warmer yet Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pushing 80 degrees here. And with that will come those higher opportunities for some rain, some storms, and maybe some strong weather. We'll keep you updated.
Add another award to Tiara McCowan's list of accolades. More on the latest All-Americans next in sport.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
She'll go down as one of, if not the greatest, to wear a Mississippi State women's basketball jersey. Tiara McCowan's career as a Bulldog has come to an end, but it hasn't stopped her from continuing to rack in career honors. McCowan named an AP All-American, the senior listed on the first team. It's McCowan's 5th career All-American selection by different sources. This past season, Big T averaged 18 points, 13.5 boards, while filling her name in almost every stat book you could find. McCowan breaking the single-season shooting percentage record at Mississippi State, shooting 66% this year. She broke her own double-double record for a single season from last year's record. She also finishes as the leading rebounder in the history of the NCAA tournament with 240 in 19 career postseason games. McCowan wasn't the only Bulldog to receive All-American honors. Jasmine Holmes and Anriel Howard named as honorable mentions. Holmes led the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio en route to shattering Mississippi State's single-season assist record with 202, finishing 2nd all-time in Bulldogs history. Howard averaged 16 points and 8 boards in her lone season with the Bulldogs, while scoring double digits in 30 games and collecting 12 double-doubles. The roster remake of Ole Miss continues as center Dominique Olejniczak will forego his final season with the Rebels and enters the transfer portal. 24/7 Sports' Ben Garrett reporting Olejniczak averaged 5 points, 3 rebounds in 33 games with the Rebels in 2019, starting 22 of them. Reports also say former ICC Indian Brian Hallams and Zach Naylor have also entered the transfer portal. Bulldogs and Rebels fans will have to be seeing a lot of John Calipari for the time being. Kentucky head coach Calipari signing a reportedly lifetime deal with the Wildcats. The Athletics' Seth Davis was the first to report. In the report, UCLA offered Coach Cal a 6-year, $48 million contract, only for Kentucky to offer a deal that would keep Calipari until his coaching career ends. Kentucky leads the country in wins, NCAA tournament wins, and Final Fours in the decade under Coach Cal. SEC baseball season beginning to ramp up. The newest polls showing the Bulldogs falling and the Rebels rising. Mississippi State dropping in the polls after its series loss to LSU this past weekend, falling to number 8 in D1 and USA Today. Baseball America drops them to 5. Bulldogs stay in the top 30 with RPI. And as for Ole Miss, the Rebels jump back into the top 20 in most polls thanks to its series win over top 10 Arkansas. Rebels remaining at number 30 in the RPI and 20 according to Baseball America. We'll have much more on SEC baseball and taking a look at how this week could shape out in terms of the standings coming up at 10. That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Looking great tomorrow, tons of sun, 73 on Wednesday, even warmer. Unsettled weather's coming on back. We need rain like we need a hole in the head at this point.
Right.
But more rain, more storms possible here. Some of those could be on the stronger side later this week. We still just don't have a good gut feeling on exactly what's going to play out, but it's possible.
All right.
No, you'll be keeping an eye on that.
Always.
All right.
Always.
And Ghost Party,
Oh,
right?
yeah, how about that?
Congratulations.
This weekend. Big game.
He's been celebrating all weekend, I think.
Indeed.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.